Welcome to Recap King. In this video, we will explain Downrange. This movie tells the story of a group of friends who are stranded on a desolate country road. They then found themselves mercilessly picked off by an unseen sniper. Can they get out of the most dangerous road? Let's find out in Downrange. Downrange begins by showing a car containing 6 youths who experience a tire burst in the middle of the road. As a result of the accident, one of the women, named Jody, suffered a collision in the head. In the group, there are Karen, Sarah, Jeff, Todd, and Eric. The 6 youths were on their way to a city to attend Jody's sister's birthday party. Jody said that her house is located in a quiet, remote area. That's why they rarely see cars that pass on the street. In the end, Todd replaced the tire with a spare tire. Jeff and Eric also helped out. Sarah then took the initiative to invite her friends to take selfies to be uploaded on her social media. But because they were in a very remote place, she didn't get reception at all. She didn't give up and walked a few yards away from the car for a signal. Finally, she got the signal. Todd was still busy fixing his tires while the other girls rested. Eric then went to the bushes to pee. Sarah then followed Karen and Jody, who were taking shelter beside the car. Seeing the women who were resting, Todd quickly followed and left Jeff alone, busy changing car tires. Jeff looked quite troubled. That's when he found bullet casings on the asphalt road. Eric had finished peeing and went back to his friends, but Jeff's tires rolled, and Todd immediately ran to save it. Sarah approached Jeff, who was left busy alone. But she was shocked when she saw Jeff's condition, which was dead with a leaking head. It was as if a bullet had just pierced his brain. She was so shocked. She couldn't even say anything and could only stare. Meanwhile, Todd tries to bring back the tires he managed to save. But Sarah can feel a blood flow in her hand. Without realizing it, she had just been hit by a shot right in the eyeball. Karen and Jody, who saw Sarah's condition, were in shock. But before they could say anything, another shot hit Sarah's head and killed her. Karen realized the danger that lurked them. So without thinking, she immediately told all her friends to lie down and take cover behind the car. Todd, who still didn't understand what was happening, tried to run towards the car, but a bullet hit him right in the left shoulder. Meanwhile, Eric was far from the car and immediately ran and managed to take cover behind a trunk. The scene turned thrilling as, one by one, gunshot aimed at them. They could only rely on the car as a shelter. Now they realized that a gunshot from that mysterious person must have caused their broken tire. Sometime later, they still couldn't get out of the car they were hiding in. Karen, whose father is a former military officer, believes that the shooter used a silencer. That's why they didn't hear the gunshots. In addition, Sarah thinks that the shooter was far enough away because the fired bullets could not penetrate the car. Todd couldn't do much because of the wound on his shoulder. Meanwhile, Eric could only stay behind a tree trunk alone. According to Jody, actually, the car tires that Jeff has replaced have already been installed. But they still can't use the car because the bolts haven't been tightened. But they knew that if they came out of hiding, they would definitely be shot. They are stuck there. Even though they have cell phones, there is no signal at their current place. Karen said if it was not far from their position, she got a signal, which means they have to get out of the car. Todd then tried his luck. He got to the back of the car and pulled out his cell phone. But it's still too far away and still no signal. Jody then gave Todd a selfie stick. Karen also has set Google Assistant on her cell phone so that it immediately calls the police when it gets a signal. Todd held out his phone. Sure enough, they managed to get a signal. But the phone was immediately shot with bullet casings. The cell phone was broken. Todd is not at his wit's end. With his car keys, he wants to put the car in neutral to shift to a location where there is a signal. Finally, they work together to deceive the mysterious sniper. Jody was at the front holding out her cell phone to record the direction the shot was coming from. Meanwhile, Karen was in the back, using her jacket to pretend to be human. With shaking hands, Todd tried to open the car door and tried to get inside. And sure enough, the scarecrow that Karen was holding was shot. Todd immediately got into the car and entered the car keys. But gunfire continued to aim at them until Todd immediately got out of the car and had not had time to neutralize the car's teeth. Fortunately, thanks to Jody's tape, they now know where the shots came from. According to Jody, the shot came from the top of a tree. It looks like someone is holding a sniper and aiming it right at them. Jody and her friends did not understand the shooter's motive. Why was he up in the tree and trying to kill them? Todd was still trying to figure out how to get out of the situation when he saw his car's toolbox. He quickly ran and managed to take the box. Todd used the tool cover as a shield to protect his hands. On the other hand, Eric can only take cover behind a tree without knowing his friend's planning. Todd was now ready to get back into the car. He got a shield in his hand. He instructs Jody and Karen to get ready to push the car. With alacrity, Todd went straight in and managed to change the car's gear into neutral. But the sniper aimed and managed to shoot his hand. Fortunately, the car was successfully driven and began to decline. However, the downhill road made the car move so fast that Jody had to bounce. Now she has no protection anymore. Meanwhile, once again, the sniper shot right at the tire of their car and made the car come to a complete stop. That's when Karen realized that it was time for Jody to run and hide behind the car again. She was sure the sniper was reloading his bullets. Eric immediately got up and ran to his friends. But his leg was hit by a shot. Now Eric can't walk, and he starts getting shot multiple times. Surprisingly, the sniper didn't kill him right away as if he wanted to make him suffer pain. Sometime later, Todd found a water bottle in the car. He then shared the water with his friends. Eric was about to drink when a bullet shot through his hand. Now he's getting worse and worse. They couldn't do anything and could only wait. Todd looked at Sarah, his girlfriend, who was getting eaten by the crows. Anger was rising inside him. He got to his feet, and unprotected, he walked towards Sarah. Oddly enough, the shooter didn't fire at all this time. Todd walked over to Sarah and kissed her forehead. He held Sarah's hand, still not willing to lose his girlfriend. Meanwhile, Eric, who couldn't move his body, saw a wolf walking towards him. Now he couldn't do anything because he would surely become the food of the hungry wolves. Todd, who has lost hope, challenges the sniper to shoot him. Suddenly he saw a car speeding towards them. He immediately shouted at the car, but the sniper started shooting him. The wolf heard the sound of the gun and immediately ran away. Now Todd dies right next to Sarah's corpse. Karen and Jody could not do much and could only wait for the car that approaching them. The woman behind the wheel saw Jody and Karen waving, but a bullet directly hit her hand. The car began to lose control until it hit Todd's car and caused an accident. The woman's daughter was even thrown out of the car. The woman in the car was seriously injured with blood all over her body, but the sniper had aimed at her and was ready to kill her. Meanwhile, her husband tries to save his daughter, but Karen and Jody screamed and asked him to stay where he was. He was their only hope because he could call the police from where he was. The man then took out his cell phone and tried to call the police. Meanwhile, the sniper couldn't see the man, so he started shooting at the car until the tank leaked. With one shot, the car exploded and burned the man alive. The man died. Meanwhile, their daughter is still alive. The sniper immediately shot her, and she died on the spot. Now Karen and Jody can't do anything and have to watch the death of their friends and a family. They even doubted that another car would pass by to save them. Finally, Karen has an idea. According to her, they had to wait for the night because it would be harder for the sniper to see them among the smoke. The night arrived. The great thing is that the shooter is still in his position and still aiming his rifle at Karen and Jody. Karen began to launch her plan. She gets in the car and starts tearing up the seat. Meanwhile, Jody managed to find a box of gas and some drinks from the car's trunk. By using some clothes from the box, Jody and Karen make emergency masks. Jody starts dousing the car with gasoline while Karen burns a newspaper with a lighter. Finally, they manage to set the car on fire, and thick smoke began to fill the air. And sure enough, thanks to the smoke that came out of the cars, the sniper's vision was now so disturbed that it was difficult for him to look at Jody and Karen. That's when Karen saw a police car driving towards them. They believe the police came thanks to a call from the man. Meanwhile, it turns out that the police have also brought 2 sniper teams that are ready to look for the shooter. The police felt that the conditions in the place were not good, so he called for more police assistance to come to help. But the police did not expect if a bullet would target right in his mouth. The policeman fell and stepped on the gas. The car went so fast that the 2 snipers behind it were thrown away. The police car is now speeding without direction. Karen realized this was the right time for them to run away. But Jody was still scared. Karen finally decided to run alone. Unfortunately, the smoke that emerged from the burning car was starting to thin out. And sure enough, Karen was hit by a shot and died. Jody then ran to the police car not far from where she was. That's when the snipers from the police started shooting the mysterious sniper in the distance. But it turned out that the mysterious sniper was skilled and managed to shoot the policemen to death. Jody had no other choice but to get into the police car and speed towards the only tree where the sniper was hiding. She was also shot in the chest, but Jody managed to hit the tree until the sniper was farthest with his foot stuck in the tree. Jody crawled and grabbed the fallen weapon. Meanwhile, the sniper tried to cut the rope that tied him to the tree. Now Jody is cornered even though she has a rifle in her hand. Luckily, she managed to shoot the man many times until the man fell. Jody tried to fire at the man again, but her rifle caught. She then hit the man in the head and crushed him. On the hilt of the rifle, Jody could see many scratches. Now she realized that was the number of victims this psychopathic man had shot. Out of anger, Jody tries to hit the psychopath on the head again. Unfortunately, the rifle shot her right in the neck. Now she must die with splattered blood. The movie ends.